COVID-19, honestly, people in LA, they not taking it seriously. Because I seen people, a lot of people not wearing a mask, people eating in restaurants outside, not wearing a mask, you know, and having all those after parties in downtown LA, not wearing a mask. So I feel like a lot of people, they not taking it seriously. They feel like this is not a threat. They taking it like this is a joke. And honestly, this is not a joke because I spent in the ICU 2 weeks and a week up here. So, and thanks God I'm alive, but there's a lot of people dying. But people, they're not taking it seriously. At the beginning, I, as experienced, took COVID-19 as a joke. I thought it would be a joke because I went to pick up my friend. He had COVID-19 already, and he passed it to me. Or what else? What I'm saying right now, that I took it as a joke. So I thought it was a joke. I thought it wouldn't get me like the way it got me. So honestly, I didn't think that my friend was gonna die. So to me, I'm lucky, thanks to God and to all the staff at the hospital. But like I said before, stay at home, don't go nowhere because honestly, COVID-19 is not a joke. This is serious. Please stay at home and keep your distance. And you gotta see your family, call them or just do the whole thing, over the phone or something. But just stay at home, please. What they need to stay at home and don't go nowhere. Not necessarily have to go to celebrate New Year's Eve. So they had to stay at home. That's what I would say. Stay at home because COVID-19 is not a joke. I'm still getting better, but I could have died. But a lot of my friends, one of my best friends died. So honestly, I would say please stay at home and don't go nowhere.
Another riveting story about the COVID-19 pandemic. Again, the National Newspaper Publishers Association endorses vaccines and doing everything you can to stay safe and keep others safe. This morning, Nicola Mitchell is here to talk about her nonprofit, the Girls Who Brunch Tour, designed to save young girls that are exposed to bullying, human trafficking, self-esteem issues which diminish their self-worth. At the Girls Who Brunch Tour, participants are empowered with vital tools needed through literacy, education, life skills, and health and wellness to help them become leaders and difference makers in their communities. We speak this morning with Nicola Mitchell. But first, let us bring on the president and CEO of the National Newspaper Publishers Association, Dr. Benjamin F. Chavis Jr. Good morning, Dr. Chavis.
Good morning, Stacy. I'm en route to the airport, but I just wanted to definitely join you and thank you for your service on behalf of the National Newspaper Publishers Association. You and Norman Rich, every morning, Monday through Friday, let it be known on behalf of Karen Carter Richards and all of the publishers, 230 African American owned newspapers and media companies across America. Let it be known as not only gaining penetration in the marketplace, but it's taken serious about all newsmakers. So thank you for your service.
Well, thank you, Dr. Chavis. And this morning in the headlines, the FEMA Emergency Management Agency, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, historically relied on deeds to prove that land belonged to disaster victims before it sent relief funds to individuals. The guidelines denied aid to many African American applicants whose homes or land were inherited informally without written wills. But the rules have quietly changed as floodwaters and the after effects of Hurricane Ida continue to ravage Louisiana, Mississippi, and with tornadoes now wreaking havoc across the Northeast. FEMA officials revealed plans to announce significant changes on how they would verify home ownership for the disaster relief applications. This change specifically targets African Americans, descendants of slaves who were not properly passed down deeds and titles to homes. So what the FEMA administrator Deanne Criswell told reporters, she said, what we're trying to do is make sure that we understand each individual situation and that they are unique and that we do not need to have a one size fit all approach. We're going to continue to try to improve our program and make additional changes. Some of them we can do right away, she said. African Americans, particularly those in southern states, have routinely had difficulty proving property ownership. So, Dr. Chavis, I know that's something that pleases you, something else that the Biden-Harris administration has implemented.
It's another positive forward for the Biden-Harris administration. It's the right thing, respecting the traditions, particularly in the African-American community, where property is passed on from family to family. Now, we do encourage all families, though, to have wills, to have trusts, so to protect the land that's in the family. But under this disaster, I'm glad that is changing the policy. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dr. Chavis, in other news, fixing New York City's homelessness crisis is an American priority. In an op-ed on NNPA, Newswire, and BlackPressUSA.com, Dr. Chavis, our president and CEO, you yourself write that in particular, African Americans, Latinx Americans, and other people of color are disproportionately, devastatingly impacted by COVID-19 and are also disproportionately entrapped with homelessness across America. The New York City homeless rates are at the tipping point of this growing national problem. Dr. Chambers writes that in May 2021, almost 52,000 New Yorkers, including 15,930 children, were sleeping in shelters, the highest rate of homelessness the city has experienced since the Great Depression. What an op-ed. Please go to blackpressusa.com to read it. Dr. Chavis, I know that this is something obviously near and dear to you.
Yes, and I wrote this op-ed on behalf of the Black Press of America. It's our job to plead our own cause, to articulate the issues in op-ed and in news and in features about what is happening. You know, on the one hand, there's progress. On the other hand, there's disproportionality and a lot of disparities. And homelessness is a growing reality in our community that needs to be addressed. And if we can do it in the nation's largest city, New York City, hopefully the rest of the country can learn how to stem this growing problem.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dr. Chavis, hip hop legend and business mogul Russell Simmons continued his annual dinner this week in New York, where he and community activist and leader Erica Ford treats dozens of mothers who have lost children to violence to a dinner. The dinner took place at Brooklyn's The Simpson restaurant, where Simmons pledged that he would continue this now 15-year tradition, offering to do even more to help ease the pain that these parents have felt. He told the group about his soon-to-be finished hotel that he's building in Indonesia, and one that he says will have a yoga studio, about 36 rooms, and eateries that serve vegan and healthy dishes. He pledged to try and do even more for these mothers who have lost their children to gun violence. So something else that Russell Simmons and Erica Ford have been doing around in and around New York that has kind of, Dr. Chavis, spread more nationally now.
Yes, and Erica Ford is a leader in helping to stem violence in our communities. And of course, Russell Simmons and I, he's my colleague, he's my comrade, he's my brother. I'm so glad to see he's still practicing the unhurled tradition of hip hop of giving back to the community. Most people don't know, Stacey, that of all the genres of music, hip hop artists have given back more than any other genre of music to their communities. Now, a lot of times the hip hop leaders like Russell Simmons don't get credit for all of what they do.
Well, a lot of times too, Dr. Chavis, they give you the credit, as Russell Simmons was doing on Wednesday night in a speech to the women there. He again highlighted your mentorship. He told them that Dr. Benjamin Chavis really instilled in artists and in the hip hop community this idea of giving back. So it's interesting you would say that when Russell Simmons really credits you and your leadership. So congratulations to you, Dr. Chavez, and
Thank you.
certainly we commend Russell Simmons and certainly Erica Ford. No one works harder for their community than Erica Ford.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Erica is an outstanding leader, and we should try to get Erica on. Let it be known.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We will do that in the near future. We'll have Erica Ford on. Well, this morning we want to say good morning to everyone watching on Facebook, everyone watching on YouTube, Twitter, and whatever channel you choose to tune in. Let it be known we appreciate you. And this morning I want to say good morning to Nicola Mitchell, who talks about her nonprofit, the Girls Who Brunch Tour. Good morning, Nicola.
Peace, Kings. How are you?
Good
Doing
morning,
great.
Nicola. Thank you so much for joining the Black Press of America.
Thank you for having me. I am so honored.
Well, Nicola, let's get into it. Let's talk about Girls Who Brunch.
Girls Who Brunch, it's a nonprofit I started like 6 years ago. When I started it, I really didn't have a clear vision of what it could be as of today. I wanted to do something in 3 cities to give back. I wanted to bring the who's who of those cities in front of girls and let them have fun and subliminally teach them at the same time. As of date, we have serviced 25, almost 26,000 girls nationwide and internationally. And we sponsor girls who are rescued from the sex trade, girls in group homes, girls in foster care, and we bring them with girls from a normal circumstance and just give them a girls empowerment conference. Currently, we're servicing 21 cities.
Wow, that is pretty amazing. The work you have been able to do. And tell us, Nicola, what inspired you to start this?
Well, in 2015, I was at a book club hosted me to come in, and one of the days was Barnes and Noble Day. And in Barnes and Nobles, this group of girls from the Gullah Islands came in, and they never even seen an African American author inside of a bookstore. And later on, I got to know them because I'm a hoot. I'm the life of the party. The kids, just love me. I came to find out that they didn't even know that pizza came in a box.
Wow.
So when I felt that and I learned that in 2015, I said, okay, you know what? I need to come back here and put on this event. And I always wanted to do something for girls because I was an at-risk girl, originally from Jamaica. I grew up in Las Vegas and I was kind of quiet and shy, and men preyed on me. So I was raped multiple times before I turned 16. I had my first daughter when I was 15 years old, my second one by 19. So I knew that the reason why I'm here is because somebody believed in me. And I always told myself I was going to do that for girls in the future. I just didn't know how. So when I met these girls in Charleston, that was an opportunity to do something. I did not have a plan. I did not have a blueprint. I went back to Charleston a couple of weeks later, and everything was ordained by God because there was the superintendent from the school district, there was a manager from the community center, on a Saturday in the same place, and they gifted me everything. Again, I didn't even have a name, and so it was like, it was pull up or shut up. You have to, if you're putting it out there, you're gonna have to execute. And that first event, we had over 250 girls in attendance.
Wow. So, Nicola, you a victim yourself, but you turned that around to really, as they say, empower others. It couldn't have been easy.
No, it wasn't. Some days I sit and think like this is our fundraising weekend. So we have a celebrity basketball game, we have a tutus and tennis shoes gala, we have like this big production going on here in Atlanta. And I was just thinking, like, dang, I put all this on and all this was birthed from someone hurting me, and it's one of those things that prayer without work is dead. If you really put your mind to something, you can do whatever you want to do. And that it was a testimony for me. Every time I do this event, it's therapy for me.
Wow. So, And so the response has been tremendous. You said you're now in 21 cities. Did you imagine that it would go as well as it has?
No, like after the first event, we had 9 cities confirmed after the first event. So I'm a writer in my real life, right? And I have to remind people that I write books because I've been doing this so much. I'm just known as the Girls Who Brunch Tour lady. And I was going to add these 3 cities onto my tour. That was initially what my plan was. But every time somebody gives me a location and helps, have boots on the ground and help bring this event together, um, it is my duty to go. So I start putting my book tour to the side and also now trying to coordinate both of them together. So I'm going to do Girls Brunch on Saturday, books on Friday or something. But it's crazy. Like it's so crazy. It's so surreal. I won the L'Oreal Paris Woman Award in 2019. And to think like I have a driver driving me around and things when I do events for L'Oreal because of doing good. Like I should have done this a long time ago. It's just so surreal to me.
Yeah, and take us, give us a sneak peek inside of what goes on at Girls Who Brunch at these events. What takes place?
So we usually have a venue like a community center. I try to go into the low income areas because those type of girls typically do not have transportation to the event. So I recreate a gym, I recreate a school. We bring in linen, we bring in chair covers, all kind of activation backdrops, and experiences for the girls. So when they walk in, it's like a red carpet event and it's all for them. So typically they're just sitting down. We have a DJ playing music. We're trying to hype them up. We have photo booths and things, and face painters, henna artists, you name it, whatever the city can help me bring, we do it. And initially, when the girls come in, they're shy, they're recluse, they're sitting down. But then I come in, I'm dancing like to whatever TikTok things they have going on. They're like, "Who is this lady?" Right? And I give them prizes for dancing as icebreakers, and then we open them up. Right? They're having so much fun. We send them to class. Now they're getting gifts for what they learned in class. And they don't, they're having so much fun that they don't even realize that we're subliminally teaching them, and by the end of the day, the energy, like I did Charlotte last weekend and I had babies on stage, like, okay, when are you coming back? When are you coming back? And that is like the best feeling for me that we accomplished a goal. Like we got these girls to just realize their own testimonies. I have babies say, "Oh, I didn't realize that I was beautiful till today. I didn't like my face until today. My mother told me I was a mistake. I don't feel like a mistake anymore." These are real testimonies from these girls.
Yeah, and Nicole, has this been an opportunity for you to expose the girls who are participants to leadership opportunities within your organization?
Yes, sir. We our girls at they come every year. What I try to do is, okay, this time you were in attendance. Next time you're gonna host. Next time you're gonna be on the panel. Next time I want you to create a workshop, a 45-minute workshop. Next time, hey, let's write a book. We need to have long-term income. I'll publish a book for you. I'll give a book scholarships. That's what I call it, right? So whatever it is that they need to do to get the book done, I'll publish a book and let them have set their account up for them. And by the time my girls have graduated, they become alumni. Most of them are still working for us now. They're giving back. They're on my social media teams. They're working within the cities and the communities recruiting. 3 of them are coming into Atlanta this weekend from Detroit, from Las Vegas. They've graduated, but they are so committed to this organization, and that's what it's all about, the sisterhood.
Yeah, one of our viewers on Facebook says, "What an amazing story and experience. Your spirit come through when you speak. So it's easy to see why the girls take to you. Keep up the great work." I want to throw it to you, Dr. Chavis. Dr. Chavis is traveling. He's always on the go and always doing something to benefit the Black press of America. Dr. Chavis?
Well, thank you, and thank Nicola. I want you to know that your story is our story. We're going to do everything we can to support you. We have 230 African American owned newspapers across the country, and we're going to do what we can to spread the word and Congratulations on your success. And I'm so glad to know you're also an author, a distinguished writer. Can you talk about how important it is to have self expression?
Wow, yeah. So I have just released my 18th book. It's called it's entitled What Was I Supposed to Do? And I actually went into jails and have done Girls Who Brunch for babies who are certified as adults ages 11 to 17. And I wrote this fictional story about them. I helped five of them get out of jail. And I just want the world to be able to stop over sexualizing and over criminalizing our girls. If they actually learn the background of their stories, then maybe we can have more people that can help be committed to the change than just writing them off when they see them. And through my books, every book I have, it's about something that's going on in life, but I make it a fictional story. So like Pum, I wrote that book. I'm from Jamaica. In Jamaica, it's illegal to be gay, so there were men underground and they're called the Gully Queens. I wrote a book about that. I wrote a book about online dating going wrong. Every book is called Blurred Lines. So every book, even though they're riveting and contemporary culture, what's going on, but they are really life lessons. And that again is how I was able to do this with Girls Who Brunch, because I've always known that when you start talking about history and things like that, people that bores them. But if you make it exciting and start making it seem like, a Lifetime movie, and then you're like, oh, that happened to Alexander Great. They're like, oh wow, so again, that's subliminal teaching. And with writing, self-expression is important because I didn't talk when I was young, but I wrote. I was in every lit class. And everybody told me that I would never, ever make a dollar from writing. I've sold over 100,000 copies of my works. And, I've done so many things writing books, just telling stories. So I think if everybody just look at something bad that happened to them, talk it out on the phone. These phones now, you can talk it out and they'll upload it to the a Word document. That's your story, and just tell it. Self-expression is the key. That is how you're going to help somebody else, because they need to see that what they're going through they're not the only one going through it.
Yeah, David Wright, David Youngblood, one of our viewers says, keep up the good work. James Wright says, thanks for trying to save troubled girls. Your work is needed. Absolutely, James. Nicola, have you had success obtaining corporate sponsorships and support to help you fund your programs?
OMG, I just had this conversation yesterday. So I've gotten a lot of corporate people like Athleta brands. Oh my gosh, they're so amazing in Atlanta. They gave us so much product, right? And we need that. L'Oreal gives us product, and L'Oreal also gave me $10,000 for the organization. But outside of that, I get more product for the girls, but we need funding as well, because to be able to go into these cities, like I'm the one, if I don't have help, that is typically setting this up on Friday all night, coming back at 5 o'clock in the morning and setting up these events. And like when I left Charlotte, I was driving home and I like just had an epiphany. I'm like, I need to make at least $5,000 a city so I can be able to hire an event planner to come in and set this up. So because that I had a clear head, I didn't forget anything. I didn't feel like I was rushed. Sometimes when you go in and you're trying to put on a production like this, and if you don't have assistance, it's hard, to stay on track. And that was the first time in a long time that I was able to go in and was like, okay, cool. Um, I need this. So, but to pitch this to a corporate donor, everybody loved the work, but they're like, oh, we could give you bags, we can give you swag stuff, but we need more than that. To put this on, we need financial support.
Yeah, and Nicola, talk about to again walk through how these girls who brunch, how it does really emotionally and otherwise help these victims, because especially violent crimes like rape, which in my opinion I think someone who rapes someone should get the death penalty. But talk about the importance of letting that victim know they're not alone.
It is so important because I didn't start acknowledging everything that happened to me until I was 33 years old. My friends and cousins and nieces and nephews, we were around the same age group. They knew what happened to me, but it was kind I didn't go into detail. My choir director raped me. Several family members had people that were around me have raped me. So what I it wasn't until I started speaking about it openly and honestly. When Girls Who Brunch starts, like I said, we have the fun, the 45 minutes mix and mingle. Then they introduce me. They either play, if we have technology, they'll play a video, my L'Oreal video, explaining what my why is, or somebody reads my bio and they'll hear Forbes, Black Enterprise, da 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 da. And then once I get on, like I was raped when I was 14 4 times before I turned 16. This happened to me. I have 2 children that passed away, 2 children that are still alive. My mom is gone. And by the time I say all this, I'm like, but look at me. I'm still here. I've accomplished all those things. So you have the ability, as long as you have breath in your body, to rewrite your circumstance. And I promise you, by the time we do our panel discussion, it's anonymous. And the girls, it's like a fishbowl setting. The girls give their questions and they may go from how did you start your business to what happens to me at night, right? And it's so much, everybody is vulnerable because I'm vulnerable. Even the women in the room. I get photographers, senators, judges who are in the room that say, this happened to me. And there's even some people who are speakers that are part of my organization that this has happened to their child, but they never even told their children that this happened to them as well. I think if people are more open and are not shamed for what's going on in their life and what they've been through, they can change a life, because I know for a fact I have so many babies that have told me, because I can see them. I see them. I see what
Yeah.
you're going through. That makes them want to do better. And
Wow.
that's it.
Yeah. A couple of quick questions before we have to start wrapping up. But are there potentially, one of our audience members writes this in, are there potentially federal programs or grants that may assist given your audience and cause?
So we just received a $100,000 from Fulton County for one of our programs, but it's only for the Ignite Masterclass program on ground for Fulton County girls. So yes, thank you God that we got that. But
Yeah.
we have so many other girls outside of Fulton County. So there are programs and grants for us to do and for us to get, but it's like it's such a process. And then once you get these, there's so many stipulations behind that program that right now I'm just trying to make sure we're staying within what we're supposed to do so we can continue to get. I'm trying to master this. And then I also want to, once my tour season slow down, I want to be able to do some webinars to help other minority nonprofits and organizations that are small, to teach them how to get it, because there are so many steps that once I got the grant, that before we can even receive the first funding, that I was completely lost. And I have 3 degrees, so I could just imagine somebody who does not have my caliber of experience and knowledge, that how they would just give up and say, forget it. So yes, there are federal grants, but my issue right now, my regular tour, I have not received funding for that. But certain programs we have obtained funding. So I'm trying to figure out how can we obtain funding for the grant. And there was a question, how can you donate? You can go to our website at girlswhobrunchtour.com, click on donate today, and you can donate there. Um, you can donate on Instagram, Facebook. This is our fundraiser weekend. Our goal is to raise $50,000 between the 21 cities. 50,000 will give me $2,500 a city. But like I said, after Charlotte, I'm like, I need to up that number because I need to be able to hire an event planner to assist with that as well. So yes, you can go to girlswhobrunchtour.com and donate there.
Yeah. Dr. Chavis, your closing thoughts.
Well, thank you. I just want to thank Nicola for her leadership and for her commitment. You're making a difference for hundreds of thousands of young girls. Just thank you for your leadership on behalf of the Black Press.
Thank you, King, so much. Thank you for having me here. Just having the opportunity to share what is going on means so much more sometimes than a dollar that is donated. So thank you so much.
Yeah, and real quick, our producer's asking this question where we have about 30 seconds. Is the principle of forgiveness something that you discuss with the girls in the program?
Yes, that's you have to heal yourself. See, when you are able to forgive, yes, some dollars do have hooks on them as well. That's true. But when you are able to forgive, it's not for the person. It's for you. Like when bacteria preys in your body and it stays, when you have so much hate and hurt, when you are able to let that go, you'll see your skin clear up. You'll be able to lose weight. You'll be able to do flourish. And what the best way to get past anybody that hurt you is to show them that you're glowing and flowing. And that's what I teach my girls. Like, look at me. Like you cannot tell what I've been through. And it's so beautiful when someone who has hurt you tries to come back and apologize or whatever. You're like, okay, you're good, sir. You're good, ma'am. I'm good. And that is the best revenge that I think that any kind of physical harm can do.
Well, Nicola Mitchell, we really praise your strength, your courage, your determination. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We certainly wish you nothing but success going forward. And don't forget to check out the NNPA and the Black Press America on TikTok at NNPA Black Press.
Hey.
Yeah, and also don't forget it's the weekend. So check out the Chavis Chronicles on PBS TV and PBS World every Sunday. Check your local listings because it also repeats during the week. The Chavis Chronicles starring Dr. Benjamin F. Chavis Jr. And make plans now to join us for the National Newspaper Publishers Association's Leadership Awards reception, the National Leadership Awards reception, which will happen on September 16th. Of course, it's virtual this year because of the pandemic. You can register. It's free. virtualnnpa2021.com. Again, that's www.virtualnnpa2021.com. And remember this, let it be known, if you are working on something that you really care about, you don't have to be pushed. Stay safe, wear a mask, social distance, and have a great weekend. We will see you Monday.